Trading Cram. When to trade Forex 8. The worst time to trade. To order this complete Cram session, inbox me at memedicine@gmail.com. When to trade. The worst time to trade. As a new or maybe inexperienced retail trader, you're probably wondering when the worst times to trade are, and that's what we're going to explore. This depiction is actually in Greenwich Mean Time. That's the time in London, but the verbal description I'm about to give you is in Eastern Standard Time, the time in New York. So just roll with me and enjoy the slightly misaligned graphic. So after the London session closes at about, so GMT time is 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time. So if it closes around 3 p.m., after the London session closes at about noon Eastern Standard Time, around 1700 hours GMT time is when the session really dies down, and then around 1 p.m. the overlap stops. These particular markets tend to become sluggish because major news releases are not coming out anymore, and most of the major market participants have already made their major moves. This would not be a good time to trade anymore. Rather, it would be a good time to reevaluate how things went during the New York and London sessions. In other words, this is one of the worst times to trade. So after the London-New York session overlaps stop and the New York session ends, this would be a good time to scan the markets for new trade setups for the next trading day. And let me re-emphasize that when the New York session closes and the Sydney session opens, this is actually a poor time to be looking for new trade setups as well. It's one of the worst times to trade, relatively speaking. The entire Asian session is not a good time to be looking for major gains in pips either. And when I say the Asian session, I'm referring to the intersection between the Sydney and Tokyo session. Collectively, the Sydney and Tokyo session are known as the Asian session. Another horrible time to be looking for trades is actually during major holidays. For instance, in the US, when we have major holidays here, do not look for major setups for any USD major pair. Because 85% of pairs in the New York markets involve the USD, the same is advisable when holidays occur in European countries with heavily traded currencies.
Give me pound, give me pound, give me euro, give me give me pound, give me pound, give me euro, give me. I'm international, baby, I'm international, pay me.
Do you take check?